Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into aura colors in human design.
Aura colors.
Yeah, aura colors.
Interesting. So not like picking a favorite color or the color of your shirt or something.
No, not like that. We're talking about like how colors represent these different energy types in the human design system. It's pretty complex.
So we're going a bit deeper then?
Deeper, yeah, exactly. And to help us with this, we're going to be looking at Ra Uru Hu's work, specifically his book Colors from 2001. He really breaks down this whole system.
Okay, colors, 2001. Got it.
Yeah.
So the goal today is to sort of figure out how these colors work, not just like visual symbols, but as like actual energetic forces, like things that influence how we operate out there in the world.
Right. So just to lay the groundwork, human design uses a 6-color system. Each color is connected to a specific energy type and a center in the body. And it's not about aesthetics, it's about understanding the energy dynamics at play.
Okay, so just like a quick overview, yeah, like what are the colors and what centers are we talking about?
So we have hope connected to the splenic center, desire and truth linked to the Aegean fetter, and guilt and innocence related to the solar plexus center.
Okay, and these centers, these are like energy processing hubs within the body, right? Like in the body graph.
Yeah, they influence how we process information, interact with the world, and even experience spirituality.
Interesting, okay.
So let's dive into some specifics here. Ra Uru, who talks about this interesting paradox with the second color, hope. He talks about it in terms of what are called second-line profiles in human design.
Second-line profile.
Yeah, meaning people who have a second line in either their personality or their design. So these people, they're naturally drawn to solitude, yet they have this really deep-seated hope for a call to action. It's like a duality.
Okay, that's interesting. Like they want to be alone, but they're also waiting for something.
Right.
Okay, so how does that actually work? Like how does that play out?
Well, it's interesting because Ra Uru Hu himself, he was a 46 profile. So he didn't actually have a second line in his personality. But he harmonized to one, meaning he resonated with that second color energy.
Huh. Okay, so he like vibrated with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though it wasn't like directly in his chart. Interesting.
Yeah. And he described this call to action in his own life. He talked about how for 15 years he became the messenger for human design, sharing this system with the world. He felt like it was a spiritual calling.
Okay, so for him, that was his call, I guess, to step out of solitude and share this knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really fascinating is that Ra Uru Hu emphasizes how proof is totally irrelevant for people with a strong second color influence. Like they operate on belief and prana, which is life force energy.
So not logic and reason, but intuition, feeling.
Yeah, and then they move through cycles of faith and doubt, like trusting their intuition even when it doesn't really make sense.
Interesting. So it sounds like they kind of go back and forth between trusting their gut and then maybe questioning everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay, so how does this all actually play out in real life, though?
Well, Ra Uru Hu, he actually uses an example from his own life to illustrate this, specifically talking about friendship. He says sometimes he believes it's worthwhile and other times he really doubts it. His feelings, they kind of fluctuate. And he says he's never been able to prove if someone was really his friend, but that doesn't stop him from having both hope and doubt in relationships.
Huh. So for him, friendship is like, it's like this ongoing question mark.
Right. And I think it's a great example of how this second color energy can work.
Yeah, it's definitely makes you think about like, where do you see this hope for a call playing out in your own life? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it might not be directly related to having a second line in your chart, but like how are you experiencing this second color energy?
It's a good question to think about. Okay, so we've explored the 6 colors and their energies, but now I'm kind of curious about how these actually play out in the different human design types.
Right, because a manifestor's energy it's going to be very different from like a generator's, for example.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like taking these color energies and seeing how they're like filtered through the lens of, each type's unique aura and their way of being in the world.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with manifestors. They're all about initiating action, right?
Yeah, they're the natural like go-getters of human design.
Right. So imagine a manifestor with like a strong influence of that second color, hope.
Oh, interesting.
What would that look like?
That's a really powerful dynamic because, they might be drawn to like spiritual pursuits, but they're not going to just like sit back and wait for enlightenment.
Right. It's not passive.
No, they're going to approach it with this entrepreneurial spirit, taking charge and making things happen.
So instead of, meditating on a mountaintop, they might start a movement or build a community or write a book that challenges conventional spiritual thinking.
Exactly. They're here to shake things up, to bring a fresh perspective to the spiritual scene, you know?
It's like they're infused with this energy of hopeful action.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, that's fascinating. So what about generators? They're designed to respond to life's invitations rather than initiate. So how would that interact with the second color, hope?
Well, for generators with a strong second color influence, there's this deep yearning for a spiritual calling, but they might hesitate to take that first step. You know, they're waiting for a sign, a clear invitation to actually embark on their spiritual journey.
It's almost like they're standing at the edge of a dance floor, hoping that someone will ask them to dance, but not quite ready to jump in on their own.
Oh, yeah, that's a great analogy. Yeah, because it can be really frustrating for them, you know, especially if they're surrounded by all these manifestors who are just going for it.
Right, right. So how can a generator with that kind of energy, how do they actually find their way?
Well, patience is key.
Patience.
Yeah, they need to trust that the right opportunity will come along. And when it does, they'll feel it, you know, they'll feel this undeniable pull to respond.
It's about recognizing their own unique energy flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the third and fourth colors, desire and truth. How might those manifest in different types?
Okay, so let's think about projectors. They're designed to guide and direct energy, but they need to be recognized and invited before they can fully share their gifts.
They're known for their deep understanding of others, right?
Yes, they're the masters of seeing potential and helping others unlock it. So now imagine a projector with a strong third color, desire influence. They might have this burning passion for knowledge, you know, a drive to explore all these different mental frameworks and ideas, but they might struggle to get people to actually listen.
Right. So it's like they have all these brilliant ideas, but they're kind of waiting for someone to give them the platform to share them.
Exactly. And this can be really frustrating for them.
Yeah, I bet. So how can they break through? How do they make their voices heard?
Well, it goes back to that key projector theme. Recognition. You know, they need to find the right people, the right audience who will value what they have to offer.
So it's about finding those who are ready to be guided by their wisdom.
Exactly.
So contrast that with a projector who has a strong fourth color, truth influence. They might be less interested in seeking, external validation,
right,
and more focused on developing their own deep understanding of the world.
Yeah, they're like the introspective seekers, you know, constantly pondering the big questions, and their insights, they might not always be easy for other people to grasp.
Right.
But they hold this profound depth and authenticity that can be really valuable to the right people.
So again, it's about finding those who resonate with their unique frequency.
Exactly. And when a projector can balance that desire for recognition with their inner truth, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, it's a beautiful combination of wisdom and impact.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's talk about reflectors. They're the rarest type in human design. They're known for reflecting the energy of everyone around them.
Yeah, like mirrors, right?
Yeah.
Showing us who we are and what we're putting out there.
And their energy, it's so fluid.
Yeah, it's very adaptable. They can change depending on who they're with, where they are.
Right. Which makes it kind of tricky to pin down how these colors might express themselves for them.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So how do we even begin to understand, the role of colors in a reflector's life?
Well, it's all about context. You know, the colors that they express will depend on the people they're with and the energy that they're reflecting back.
So a reflector spending time with a bunch of second color hope-driven manifestors might suddenly feel really inspired and motivated.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Seek action.
Yeah, or if they're hanging out with fourth color truth-seeking projectors, they might go on a deep dive of introspection and self-discovery.
So it's like they're constantly trying on these different energetic hats, reflecting the dominant colors around them.
Yeah, that's a good way to see it.
Which is, it can be both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Because, it allows them to experience this huge range of emotions and perspectives.
Yeah.
But it can also be really hard to find a stable sense of self in all that fluidity.
It's about finding balance, you
Yeah.
know, learning to navigate that reflective nature and finding that unique center amidst all the swirling colors.
Right, right. And when they can do that, they become incredibly wise and insightful.
Oh, yeah. They really do. They have the potential to see the world with incredible clarity.
Okay. So we've talked about how these colors might manifest in different types. Um, but what about the interactions between those types?
Oh, that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, because you could imagine, like, a second color, hope-driven generator trying to collaborate with a third color, desire-driven manifester. I mean, talk about a clash of styles.
Totally. You know, the generator's waiting for a sign while the manifestor's ready to charge ahead.
Right. And the manifester might get frustrated by the generator's hesitation, and the generator might feel totally overwhelmed by the manifestor's intensity.
Yeah, it's a recipe for misunderstanding. But here's the thing. If they can learn to understand and appreciate each other's unique rhythms, they can create something really amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the generator can help the manifestor slow down and refine their approach, and the manifestor can inspire the generator to take action and really manifest their dreams.
That's like this really powerful synergy.
Yeah, it is. And that's the beauty of human design, you know. It's not about trying to fit everyone into the same mold. It's about recognizing and honoring our differences so we can work together.
Right. And these colors, they give us such an incredible roadmap for understanding those differences.
They really do.
They help us see beyond the surface and really grasp what's going on.
Mm.
Now, I'm curious, what if someone has multiple colors really strongly represented in their chart?
Oh, that's a great question.
We've kind of explored how they play out in types and between types, but what about within an individual?
Right. Well, that's actually pretty common. You
Yeah.
know, we're not just one color or a blend of all six,
Right.
with some expressing themselves more strongly than others.
So someone could have a strong, second color hope influence guiding their spiritual seeking, but also a really strong third color desire fueling their mental exploration.
Exactly. And this can create like a really dynamic tension within a person. You know, they might feel pulled in different directions, wanting to withdraw and engage, seeking solitude and connection.
Almost like they have multiple personalities all vying for attention, each with their own motivations and desires.
Yeah, and the key is finding a way to integrate those different energies, to create a harmonious balance between those opposite forces.
It's about recognizing and honoring all the different parts of yourself,
Exactly.
even the ones that seem to contradict each other.
Exactly. And when you can do that, you unlock this amazing depth and complexity.
Right. You become a more well-rounded,
Mhm.
integrated person.
Yeah, capable of navigating the world with so much more understanding and compassion.
And that's really what this whole journey is about, right?
It is. It's about embracing all the colors that make us who we are, the light and the shadow, and finding a way to let them shine.
Okay. Let's bring this back to the mutation of the solar plexus center
Mm-hmm.
and its impact on the fifth and sixth colors, guilt and innocence. Because, this is where things get really futuristic.
Right. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we experience emotion, how we connect with spirit.
And we've already established that guilt, the fifth color,
Mhm.
won't be as affected by this mutation because of its link to the feeling center, which doesn't fully open to spirit consciousness.
But innocence, the sixth
Mm.
color, oh, that's going to undergo a huge transformation.
Because it's connected to touch, which will take on a whole new meaning as the solar plexus mutates.
Yeah. It's not just going to be about physical touch anymore. It's going to be about like a deeper, more intuitive connection, a way of experiencing the world through this kind of spiritual touch.
Okay, so imagine walking into a room and instantly sensing the emotional state of everyone there, or feeling a deep connection to nature just by being in its presence.
It's about opening up to this whole new level of sensitivity and awareness.
And this is going to impact everyone, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of their type or their individual color dynamics.
Yeah, it's a collective shift.
Wow. So is there anything we can do to prepare for this kind of massive energetic shift?
Well, I think for starters, we can start paying more attention to our solar plexus center, you know, noticing how it feels, how it influences our emotional responses.
So practicing mindfulness,
Yeah.
being present in our bodies, and really tuning into our feelings.
Exactly. And we can also cultivate a deeper connection to our intuition, you know, trusting those gut feelings and those inner whispers that guide us.
Because those whispers, They're going to become louder and clearer as the solar plexus mutates.
Exactly. And we're going to need to learn to trust them more than ever before.
This is exciting. And maybe a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's a big shift. It's like we're standing on the precipice of a whole new era, a time of profound spiritual awakening.
And the colors, they're going to be our guideposts, helping us navigate this uncharted territory.
Yeah, they're going to illuminate the path,
So-
showing us the way to a deeper understanding of ourselves, each other, and the universe.
This is an incredible journey. And for one, I'm ready to embrace it.
Me too. It's a time of immense possibility.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, I want to leave you with a question. We've talked about how the solar plexus mutation will impact the sixth color, Innocence, opening us up to a deeper spiritual touch.
Right.
But what if that touch extends beyond the human realm? What if this mutation allows us to connect with other dimensions, with beings and energies that we haven't been able to perceive before?
Okay, that is a mind-blowing thought.
It is. And, it's something that Ra Uru Hu, he hinted at in his teachings. He believed that human design was just the beginning, that there's so much more to discover about our being and our place in the cosmos.
So are we on the verge of a multidimensional awakening?
Well, that's the question we're going to explore in the next part. We're going to delve into the mystical and metaphysical implications of this upcoming mutation.
Okay, so we've talked about the 6 colors in human design, their energies, and how they might play out in different types. But at the end of the last part, you brought up this really intriguing idea of a potential multidimensional awakening connected to the mutation of the solar plexus. And I got to say, it's a pretty mind-blowing concept.
It is. And remember, Ra Uru Hu wasn't just talking about, like a heightened sensitivity to the emotions of other people or a stronger connection to nature. He was hinting at something much bigger, the possibility of actually perceiving like realms beyond our normal senses.
Okay, so let's break this down. We know that the 6th color, Innocence, is linked to the sense of touch.
Huh.
But Ra Uru Hu seemed to believe that this touch could extend beyond like just the physical. He suggested it could be a way to actually experience other dimensions, energies, even beings that have always been present, but beyond our current range of perception.
Yeah, like developing a sixth sense, a spiritual touch that allows us to tap into the unseen.
So we're talking about like sensing things beyond the 5 senses, beyond the material world, things that science can't even really explain.
It's definitely a possibility. Imagine like being able to perceive subtle energies, those intuitive nudges or those experiences we often just brush off as like imagination or coincidence. What if this mutation amplifies those perceptions, makes them undeniable?
Wow, okay, my mind is officially blown. So like those unexplained phenomena like intuition, premonitions, even encounters with spiritual beings, could this mutation be the key to finally understanding them?
It's a fascinating thought. As our solar plexus centers mutate and that sixth color energy expands, we might start tapping into like a whole new spectrum of extrasensory perceptions. It's like we're standing on the edge of this paradigm shift where science and spirituality start to converge.
And in human design, with its focus on energy and consciousness, could be like the bridge between those two worlds.
Exactly.
It gives us a language, a system for understanding these complex energies and how they might impact our lives.
Right. Instead of dismissing these experiences as like, woo-woo, we might actually have a framework for understanding and even working with them.
But if this mutation really does open us up to multidimensional experiences, I mean, what does that even mean for our understanding of reality itself?
Right. It challenges everything we thought we knew. We might have to rethink our concepts of time, space, even the nature of consciousness. Imagine a world where those limitations start to blur, where we're not just confined to our physical senses. It's a pretty mind-expanding concept.
It's like we've been looking at the world in black and white and suddenly someone hands us a box of crayons.
Yeah, exactly.
But is there anything we can actually do to prepare for this kind of multidimensional awakening? Or is it just going to happen whether we're ready or not?
I think the best preparation is to cultivate an open mind, a willingness to embrace the unknown. It's about letting go of our preconceived notions and accepting that reality might be far more expansive than we currently understand.
So it's the letting go of those limiting beliefs and really trusting our intuition, Because who knows? Those gut feelings might actually be messages from other dimensions trying to
Yes.
reach us.
It's a mind-boggling thought, isn't it? It fills me with a sense of awe and wonder and honestly a bit of healthy skepticism too.
I hear you. It's a lot to process. But one thing's for sure, this journey is full of mystery and incredible potential. Now, before we wrap up, I have to ask, if this mutation allows us to connect more deeply with other dimensions, how will that impact our relationships with each other, like as humans?
That's a great question. What if we start to sense each other's thoughts and feelings more intensely? What if we develop new ways of communicating that go beyond language? And how will this heightened sensitivity affect our ability to empathize and connect?
Wow, this isn't just about like individual awakening. It's about like a collective evolution of consciousness,
Yeah.
like a deepening of our connection, not just to ourselves, but to each other and to the universe as a whole. It makes you wonder what incredible possibilities might emerge from that kind of interconnectedness.
It's a truly exciting prospect. It seems like we're on the cusp of something extraordinary.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to end our deep dive. But I have a feeling this conversation is far from over.
I agree. This is an exploration that's just beginning. The world of human design is vast, and as we've seen, it offers these profound insights, not just about ourselves, but about the nature of reality itself.
So to everyone listening, stay curious, keep exploring, and embrace this incredible journey of self-discovery.
And remember, the colors are just the beginning.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.